Thanks so much for watching YouTube with me today. Love getting to hang out with you in this setting, in this format. And we're continuing our series on hope. We're looking at David today. David is like the poster child in some respects for hope. And really walking through all kinds of discouraging situations, circumstances, and rejection even. Thinking about one of the first times we meet him, his dad forgets he's out in the field herding sheep when Samuel comes to pick out the next king, to anoint the next king. So Samuel goes down the list of all of David's brothers. Dad brings all these brothers in, and God tells Samuel, no, not that one, not that one, not that one. And finally Samuel says, dude, you have, to Jesse, the dad, do you have any other boys? And just say, oh, we got that kid out in the field, that shepherd kid, let's bring him in. David is the youngest. And they bring him in, and sure enough, Samuel knows in his heart that's the one. And you know, sometimes we go through rejection. Maybe you felt that from your parents. Maybe you felt that from somebody that you had romantic interest in. Maybe you felt that in a job. Rejection's tricky, it's tough. But when we keep our eyes on God, God can bring us through and really help us in that. When you watch David again, you watch him and he continues to serve God and to really go after God. We do the whole Goliath, and the slingshot, and he kills Goliath. And then, he starts to have this, kind of popularity throughout Israel. But Saul, the king, gets jealous of David. And so David spends more than 12 years running away from Saul because Saul wants to kill him. And in that time, just before he started a super runaway, he was great friends with Saul's son, Jonathan. And I love that God brings us relationships, encouraging relationships along the journey. And sometimes we go through some pretty dark seasons and we hit the bottom, and it feels like. But God says, I'm going to give you some hope. And he might bring somebody alongside of you. He might give you an encouraging word. He might have some nice, unexpected, great things happen for you that you're like, wow, I didn't see that coming. But sometimes when we go through dark times, let's remember to always keep our eyes on God. And David went through this dark time, running away from Saul. And I think maybe even at the end of 1 Samuel, there's a possibility that he might have even gotten hopeless because he moved away from the nation of Israel and started living in the land of the Philistines, settled in a little town called Ziklag, and started to serve the Philistine king. I mean, what? I think he was very discouraged. And at one point, it even looks like he's going to go out and fight against his own people, against the nation of Israel. He doesn't wind up doing that. But this is very discouraging. And then God turns it around, and through a series of events and circumstances, he becomes the king of Judah and then the king of all of Israel. And you kind of see this upswing. And that's what happens sometimes. We feel like, oop, we got an upswing. It's like catching a thermal, you go straight up. But then sometimes we kind of fall down again, and you see that with David. He didn't parent or father his boys well. You see some significant deficiencies with Amnon, with Absalom, as well as some of his daughters. I mean, just bad news. And so things start to kind of decline again. And his leadership, and then the whole deal with Bathsheba, that was kind of bad, right? I mean, seriously, it should have never been doing that. And then at the end of his life, there were some times when he didn't step up to the plate for leadership. And you can look at David's life and you can see kind of this ups and downs and some great things and then some awful things. But I encourage you, as you read through the Psalms, I love them because they almost always give me hope. They talk about dark circumstances, dark situations, going through dark seasons, but they always give us hope because they continually challenge us to keep our eyes on God. And David is a great example of kind of going through some ups and downs, some of it self-inflicted, some of it not, but he kept his eyes on God, and that brought hope in his heart. So I just encourage you today, keep your eyes on God. As we finish today, I'd love to have you subscribe. Thanks boatloads for doing that. Give me some feedback, thumbs up or some comments, that'd be fantastic. And then, of course, we're going to finish with a joke. And here's this wonderful, amazing joke. What animal could Noah not trust? Remember, Noah loaded all the animals in the ark. Noah could not trust the cheetah. I know. super bad, but it puts a little smile. So thanks again for watching.